rooftop is busy. Why not? It's a Friday night and the home team's in town. The Rockies getting ready to take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. First to 3 over the weekend before the Rockies head back to the Midwest to take on the Chicago Cubs. And guess where we are? We finally made it up to the rooftop.
I've been trying to get up here forever. This is great.
Yeah, we've been showing it all season long. This is our first trip up there. Welcome, everybody, along with George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman, and it is as advertised. It is busy. It is fun. It is festive.
It's a lot of fun up here, and met a lot of people that obviously watch our shows en route. We appreciate that greatly, and glad you're at the ballpark. Glad to be up here.
Absolutely. Well, it's sprinkling a little bit right now. Hopefully that moves on out. Let's tell you about the pitching matchup tonight. We're revisiting a matchup we saw in Pittsburgh, and both Charlie Morton and Brett Anderson were terrific. Brett Anderson, the best performance he's had in a Rockies uniform.
And extended out to 110 pitches, 8 strikeouts, a lot of ground ball outs, just 4 hits given up. And what he did in this ball game is what you expect from Brett Anderson. He was able to get the strikeouts, but he's also able to utilize his changeup. He utilized his hard slider, which can turn into a hard curveball at times. They were baffled by Brett Anderson in this ball game, and he deserved to win after 7 very strong innings. And Morton on the other side of that is a right-hander that, you start to look at him and you say, why hasn't this guy won more ball games? Well, he's won 4 out of his last 5 starts with a 270 earned run average. He's pitched very well. It's a big slider that he'll utilize at times to get guys out on their front foot. He'll get the ball on the ground. He's going to get double plays. He's a guy that they like as a 4th, 5th guy in that rotation that could easily win a lot more games. He's 35 and 58 right now. He could easily be a lot more and have some run support.
Well, I fall back on what Troy Tulowitzki told us last weekend in Pittsburgh. He said this guy's got dirty stuff. He said he's really got great stuff. Troy obviously not available tonight, but it'll be a good matchup. Brett Anderson and Charlie Morton. More from the rooftop when we come back to 20th and Blake in front of the Rockies and Pirates.
I
here.
mean, like really high. Yeah.
Not peeking over the edge much.
It's great.
Rockies getting ready to take on the Pirates. Back with George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman. Obviously, Troy Tulowitzki's down. He'll be down for another week or so. Josh Rutledge is getting a lot of playing time at shortstop. He's doing a nice job.
He's getting an opportunity, the kind you don't necessarily want because you lose an all-star shortstop in Troy Tulowitzki, but he's taken it and he's ran with it. You look at his distance and what he's done in the last couple of ball games since he's taken over for Troy, and you look at the numbers since July 20th, 2 doubles, a triple, a home run, a couple of RBIs. He has fielded the ball very well defensively, and I think that's the one thing you wanted is the defense from him. The offense is a plus, but the left side of this infield has to be strong. It is with Nolan, obviously when Tulo's there, and now with Rutledge out at short, he's performed well. I know he had an error Wednesday, but this is a guy that has caught the ball and had numerous chances and done a good job with it.
We've talked a lot about it, George. You flash back to when he first came up. This is a kid who's got some pop in his bat.
He's got a lot of pop in the bat. Not many home runs right now, but not a lot of at-bats to go with it. A lot of tough pinch hit duty late in the game against the top closers in the game. So let him get these 4 or 5 at-bats and see what happens. I think you'll start to see that long ball.
Ready to get anchored down?
Yeah, let's go, man. Come on.
There you go. We're from the rooftop tonight. The Rockies and Pirates. Come on back to Coors Field with us on a Friday night. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, let's go places. By Inova Cancer Care, treat prostate cancer painlessly in only 5 sessions with minimal side effects. Visit InovaCC.com. And by Southwest Airlines, find our fares online only at Southwest.com. Well, we finally got up here. It's a beautiful view of the ballpark in the Rocky Mountains and all the construction going on in lower downtown Denver. We're in the rooftop tonight, and the Rockies have taken the field, ready to go against the Bucks. A little payback on their minds because last weekend in Pittsburgh, the Pirates swept the Rockies. Gregory Polanco, good-looking rookie right fielder, will lead things off for Clint Hurdle. And let's take a look at the rest of the Southwest batting order tonight for the Pirates. Josh Harrison is in left field. Starling Marte is on the disabled list, the 7-day concussion disabled list. Remember, he was hit in the head by Adam Ottavino last week. He actually played after it, but he was placed on the 7-day concussion list a couple of days back. Andrew McCutchen having another great year. He'll bat third. Then Gabby Sanchez Neil Walker's red hot. Russell Martin, Jordy Mercer. Brent Morel is up from AAA to play third base with Pedro Alvarez battling a gimpy knee. Charlie Morton, of course, as we talked about, is on the hill. Let's take a look at the numbers for Brett Anderson. They're brought to you by Inova. Treat prostate cancer in only 5 sessions. Visit InovaCC.com.
All the numbers look great except that one, 0-3, trying to get that first win, and should have last week against the Pittsburgh Pirates, trying to get that first W here tonight at Coors Field. And if he can duplicate, got a pretty strong feeling things may go the Rockies' way here tonight at Coors Field.
So Anderson is ready to go, and Polanco will step in. The Pirates are 54-47, the Rockies 41-60. And the first pitch of the evening is swung on and fouled back. Brett Anderson will work quickly, and when he's on, he'll pound the strike zone, and hopefully he can duplicate, George, what he did in Pittsburgh. He stayed out of the middle third of the plate. A
lot of ground balls, a lot of reaching for balls, so pitching away from any of their strengths into his strengths, which is very good with that hard sinker. Run it into the hands with a hard swinger. See, a big long swing by Polanco gives you the opportunity to be able to throw that sinker down and in.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. And it's on the ground to second. DJ's got a routine play, 1 out. The Rockies defensively, brought to you by Excel Energy. Visit responsiblebynature.com today to learn more. In the outfield, Corey Dickerson's in left. Charlie Blackmon's in center. Cargo, who had Wednesday off, is in right field. Nolan Arenado, Rutledge, DJ LeMahieu, Ben Paulson. He's been hot since he came up from AAA. Willeen Rosario is doing the catching this evening. So with 1 out, Josh Harrison will step in. I'm looking at that purple line that was famously put in Coors Field in '95 to, to signify a mile high. So we are right at 5280 where we're situated.
It's actually a beautiful view up here tonight from this ballpark. Standing up, being able to see the mountains.
It's gorgeous.
As you look out over the left center field area, the open area of the ballpark here. You know, in our broadcast booth, we never get to see how many fans are actually in the ballpark because we can't see them. Tonight we can see them. It's nice. Fans in the third deck early in this ball game.
1-1 to Josh Harrison, and he puts it on the ground to DJ. It's funny. I was talking to Josh Harrison on the Pittsburgh side of things when batting practice was taking place, and he's a very affable young man, and we were looking up here, and I said, we're going to broadcast from up there. So this has been terrific. It's been a huge success, the rooftop, and there's a ton of people up there, and they're really enjoying watching the ball game from up here. It's going to be our first trip. He looked out here, goes, man, that's a great idea.
It is a great idea,
because at first he hadn't noticed. He'd played here before, but obviously the stadium was a little different in right field in the upper deck.
Well, Anderson's trying to get his first win since April 7th, 2013. He's had 19 games, 8 starts over that span. He's gone 0-6.
0-1 on Andrew McCutchen, and that's fouled back.
If you take notice watching this at home, folks, you notice the Pirates very aggressive with the bats. Swung early and counts. 8 pitches thrown, 7 strikes, 4 swings.
Pirates have been playing well. They're coming off a series against the Dodgers Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for Clint Hurdle, in which they won 2 out of 3. They got beat 5-2 by Ryu in the first game. Then they won 12-8, 5-1. No play for Willeen Rosario. So they've won 5 of 6. And they're in a stretch, George, where they're playing 15 straight against the NL West. Today begins a 10-game road trip for the Bucs. They're going to go on to San Francisco for 3 and then Arizona for 4.
And against the West, they've gone 11-9 so far this year.
That's a good pitch. One and 2 on Andrew McCutchen. He was player of the month in the National League in June. He's having a big July also. Struck out there by a breaking ball in the dirt. Beautiful inning from Brett Anderson, picking up where he left off in his last outing. Against Charlie Martin, and that is where we're going to wave. That's where we're situated today.
Well, yeah, we're up here a little higher than what we're supposed to be. Yeah, I like
top
it up
of the
here,
rooftop, high up in right center field. And Charlie Blackmon getting ready to go. He's got that 304 average. He's hit 14 out of the ballpark, 53 driven in. Here's the Southwest batting order for Walt Weiss this evening. Josh Rutledge is kind of nestled into that 2 spot in the absence of Troy Tulowitzki. Corey Dickerson will bat third, then Cargo back in there. Nolan Arenado, he had a good game on Wednesday. Ben Paulson hitting .455, 5 for 11 since his call-up. Willeen Rosario, DJ LeMahieu, Mr. Steady, and Brett Anderson. Charlie Morton ready to go. Big sinker and a curveball. Treat prostate cancer in only 5 sessions. Visit AnovaCC.com.
And what he tries to accomplish with that 5-9 record, but a very good earned run average, if you look at that side of things, at 3.28. He's won 4 out of his last 5 starts with an ERA below 2.20. Ground ball rate, you look at this, he averages 2.33 ground ball to fly ball rate for his outs, which is 4th in baseball right now behind Roberto Hernandez, Henderson Alvarez, and Tim Hudson.
He's a little unusual, George, in that usually when you have a guy that's got a superior sinker, as Morton does, and those stats you talked about support that, it's usually complemented by a slider.
You going to catch this one? We might have catch this one. Is it?
Well,
I can't see.
Polanco's going to catch it.
It looked like it was coming right to us. I was ready to make a move on it.
But you know what I mean? Yeah, he's sinker curveball.
Well, the thing is that he gets on top of it, and he gets to the. When I say on top of it, anytime you throw the curve, typically you'll see a 12-6 when you're way on top. He has a tendency to do it on purpose, is to get off to the side of it, which turns it into a big sliding type curveball.
1 out, Rutledge at the plate.
5 career starts versus the Rockies. He's 2-0 in his career with a .316 earned run average. Hardest thing he's had to deal with, Drew, is staying away from the big inning. 9 different times this year he's given up 3 runs or more in an inning. That's all brought to you by Dougie. Has Doug been shown? He's up here with us. He's hanging out. There's that good curveball at 76.
And he has volunteered that if the rain materializes tonight, that he'll stay and take care of things while we walk down to the booth.
There's Dougie. Doug's up here with us. Yeah, Doug.
He forgot the umbrellas, though.
Doug volunteers for a lot of things.
And Rutledge is gone on that curveball. 2 outs. That'll bring up Corey Dickerson, and it brings us to a check of the Excel Energy defense for Pittsburgh, brought to you by Excel Energy. Visit responsiblebynature.com to learn more. Harrison is very versatile. He's in left field tonight. McCutchen is a terrific defender as well. Gregory Polanco is in right field. Brent Morel at third. Jody Mercer, Neil Walker up the middle. Gabby Sanchez in a platoon at first base with Ike Davis. Sanchez plays against left-handers. Russell Martin, veteran catcher and a good one.
Well, he's here for a reason. They signed him for a reason. And I said this a year ago. Ground ball right at Mercer. He'll fire the first and be able to get. He's a winning catcher. Been in a lot of playoffs. They wanted a leader. They got one.
Morton works a 1-2-3 first. We'll go to the second. No score.
Pirates and the Rocks, no score so far at Coors Field. We're up on the rooftop, and yes, Fan Friday coming from the rooftop. Just use the hashtag Toyota Talk and hit us up with some tweets, some pictures. Maybe you're on the rooftop, or maybe you photobombed me like Brandon Barnes did the other day. This was during the pregame, the open as we call it, before a game, and a fan took a photo of this. Brandon Barnes has been doing a lot of fun stuff, guys. So we will take your tweets. Hashtag Toyota Talk. Got the mini iPad that the boss gave me, so we're ready to go here, guys, at the rooftop like you.
Yeah, where are you? You're down at the other end. You're in the cabana area. That's not fair.
It's the main entrance. You come up on the escalators. This is what you see.
Mark, thank you. Gabby Sanchez lines out center field, one out.
Mark likes being up here tonight.
Well, he's like the mayor of this place.
Is he the mayor of rooftop?
Yeah, he's been up on the rooftop since opening day. He makes a nightly appearance at the rooftop.
I think it's VP by now.
Vice president, you're past mayor?
Yeah. Past 100 games.
There you go. Neil Walker will come to the plate. He's batting right-handed tonight against the lefty Brett Anderson. High fastball, and it's ball one. Walker, since the All-Star break, 10 for 22. He's hit a couple home runs. Hit one against the Rockies last weekend. 15 home runs, one shy of his career high. He had 16.
Boy, I like that pitch from Anderson. He had a big fastball that, you know, and then he get a swing at it. And now all of a sudden he comes back with that cutter at 82 miles an hour, and he can elevate that cutter to 85, 86.
Just off the plate. Chris Caccioni's calling balls and strikes tonight. Eric Cooper at first, Tom Hallion at second, Trip Gibson is at third. 2 balls and a strike on Walker. Pulled to third. Nolan's got it. 2 outs. Time for the McDonald's McCafe pitch menu. Now at McDonald's, you can enjoy a sweet, creamy McCafe iced coffee. George, what do you have?
Well, I like this menu because you look up, the fastball is thrown 48.5% of the time. He averages almost 90. They've hit 260 against it. Curveball and changeup, 33 on the changeup, but he doesn't use it very often. The curveball has been, it's an out pitch at 79. You saw the cutter at 82.
Got a strikeout with the curveball of McCutchen in the first inning. Russell Martin takes strike one. Russell Martin this year has 1 pass ball. How about that? He's fielding .998, which leads all National League catchers.
Out of 38 stolen attempts, 23 he's thrown out.
He's had a tremendous year defensively and not bad offensively. 282. He's driven in 35. 1-2 the count on Martin. Not much against lefties though. Just 6 for 40 against lefties this year.
And you know, I always hear that stat against lefty righty. I'd like to know who the lefties are you faced. Has it been Hamill? Has it been Lee? Cole Hamels? Has it been Lee? Who are some of these nasty lefties that he might have faced where he went with that number you talked about?
Not a lot of great ones in the NL Central. Well, the Pirates are just 9-7 against lefties. They don't see a lot of left-handers like you do out west.
Well, there's not many Kershaws in the Central. Or Madison Bumgarner, to name a few, or Wade Miley. There's 3 pretty good left-handers. The Pirates 3-10 this year against Milwaukee, who leads the Central. Try to make hay against the guys at the top. Difficult to do when you go 3-10.
Well, he had him 0-2, but Anderson loses Martin, so with 2 outs, Martin to first. That'll bring up Jordy Mercer. Who wants tacos? Remember, when the Rockies score 7 or more during any game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day. Do it between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. Strike 1 on Jordy Mercer. Mercer in his last 46 games hitting just below 300. He is, however, 0 for his last 9 at the plate. He was down at 227 at the end of June. Brought the average back up to the 250 range. One-two, curveballs hitting the air to right field. Cargo's there and he makes the catch, and Cargo will be the first name we call when we come back, because he'll be leading things off as we go to the bottom of the second. Bottom of the second inning, broadcasting tonight from the rooftop, which is a whole lot of fun. A lot of people enjoying themselves.
Yeah, we're having a great time
us
up here today. This is great. I love it up here.
Pretty nice, as long as that rain stays away. Time for our AT fan photo. Here's how you get yourself involved. Use the hashtag #COFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown during an upcoming broadcast. Tweet us your pictures. Cargo's going to lead it off in the second. Then Nolan Arenado and Ben Paulson against Charlie Morton. Ground ball, fly ball, strikeout in the first inning. Fastball runs away, ball one. Cargo did not play on Wednesday for the Rockies' a 6-4 victory over Washington behind Jorge De La Rosa. Unbelievable again. 7 1/3, didn't walk anybody, struck out 11. Jorge is now, get this folks, 42 14 at Coors Field.
Huge numbers.
That's unbelievable.
So the myth that you can't pitch at Coors, I guess you can.
Cargo goes to lay down a bunt with the shift on.
Get on base any way you can and try to ignite the offense. I know people want to see home runs, the RBIs, and everything out of Cargo, but if they're going to give you the whole left side of the infield, take advantage of it. 9 home runs, 34 RBIs on what has been a very injury-plagued year for Cargo. I know he's happy to be back in uniform and on the field.
On the inside corner, two-seamed him, and it's 2-2.
Tell you what, that is really a nasty pitch. On the forward strike zone, you're going to see just barely caught the corner. That's almost Maddox type movement late to a left-hander.
Fouls it off Martin's mask. It remains 2-2. Auto glass issues, call SafeLight 303-287-5000. Online at safelight.com. It's the 11th win of the season, by the way, for De La Rosa on Wednesday. And he got him on a breaking ball in the dirt. Martin will complete the play at first. Cargo's 15 strikeout, 33 at bats since he came off the disabled list. Trying to get that timing back. The day after every Rockies victory, hope you took advantage of this yesterday. Get 40% off your online order at Papa John's. Enter the promo code ROXWIN at papajohns.com. Nolan Arenado, a 283 average into the ball game. 1 for 3, RBI double on Wednesday, scored a couple runs. He's starting to heat up. His last 9 games hitting 286. When he first came off the disabled list, kind of like Cargo, he struggled.
Timing is everything.
3 for 26. Off the plate. Hits that sharply, but it's right at Neil Walker. He stays with it. 2 outs. Time for the injury report. It's brought to you by the University of Colorado Health. Justin Morneau's on the DL with the neck situation. Troy Tulowitzki with a hip flexor injury. Starling Marte for the Pirates, as we chatted about, on the 7-day disabled list. A concussion suffered against the Rockies when he was hit by Adam Ottavino, and he passed all the concussion tests on the field. He passed the concussion test that evening, didn't play the next day on Saturday, did make an appearance on Sunday, and then evidently had enough symptoms that he was placed on that 7-day concussion list. I said at the time, George, I was shocked that he stayed in the game, because you saw the replay of it, and this is not a shot at Clint. Because Clint, you know, he has to rely on the trainers. Trainer said he passed everything, kind of hopped up quickly. They slowed him down. And I'm just amazed that he stayed in. And probably if they did it again, they'd say there's no way we can leave him in the game, because that was not a glancing blow.
No, that's a square shot. That's exactly what that is. Right to the side of the forehead. And he went down, obviously, and he got up, and he answered all the right questions. But then it was a delayed reaction, obviously, through 24 hours of sleep and watch. That, you know, after their trainer came out and did everything on him, he okayed him to go ahead and play. But it's that delayed reaction the next day where all of a sudden things get a little fuzzy.
2-2 on Ben Paulson. Inside, good eye. Paulson's hitting all 3 games he's played at the major league level.
That's nice to see, too. The long road and battle for this young man. A couple of years in Tulsa, a couple of years at Colorado Springs. The injuries forced the opportunity, and he's taking advantage of it. He draws a walk here.
Good eye.
And a little bit of respect there. You see the curveball thrown. And that count. The 3 balls there. Confidence, maybe you might be able to throw it for a strike, but to be able to take that pitch off the plate. And it was off the plate. Martin tried to frame it the best that he could, right on that outside corner.
It was not the fact that it was outside. It just came across a little bit high. So the Rockies have their first base runner with 2 outs in the second, Paulson, and that'll bring up Willeen Rosario. Rosario didn't play on Wednesday. Mike McHenry was behind the plate. There's a big chopper to third. Morel throws across. That's all for the Rockies. We'll go to the 3rd inning, scoreless at Coors Field. We come to you tonight from the rooftop. Beautiful views of the ballpark and the city.
Field, no score. Bucks and the Rocks. It's a Fan Friday. Use the hashtag Toyota Talk and tweet us pictures if you want. Like, here's some fans enjoying the rooftop. You see the scoreboard in the background. They're up high with us today. And you can give us some Rocks questions, some baseball questions. Again, it's at @RootSports_RM. Use the hashtag Toyota Talk. Drew, George?
Hey, where are you now?
Down to your right.
Where?
A little bit lower towards the scoreboard.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I don't think you can see me.
You're eating.
I'm not.
You're thinking about it.
There's a lot of things to think about up here.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty.
Yeah.
I'm leaving that alone.
Brent
I'm going to let
Morel.
you explain that one.
Yeah, Brent Morel at the plate. See you, Mark. 1 ball, 1 strike. Low pitch count through the first 2+ innings for Brett Anderson. Morel hitting out of the 8th spot in the lineup. Good pickup by Arenado, 1 out. That'll bring up Charlie Morton.
I could give you a pretty good scouting report on Morel, because I just watched him for 4 days in Tulsa on the internet as they were playing against the White Sox AAA ball club. Got a big swing with a lot of power in it.
It's on the outside corner for a strike.
Explained, Drew kind of nudged me and had a funny look on his face. The Indianapolis Indians are the AAA team for the Pirates.
I thought you said you watched him in Tulsa.
And I watched him while I was in Tulsa on the internet.
You watched him on the internet.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said. Well, I thought you had Indianapolis and AAA playing Tulsa in
No.
Here's the 0-2 on Morton, and he hits it to third.
Boy, I like the quick bats at the bottom of the lineup.
And we've said it so many times. It's no secret. Fielders love it, man.
Well, you know what drives a fielder crazy? 3-2, 3-1, 2-2, 3-2.
Pick up the
on every
rosin
hitter.
back,
I mean,
walk
pretty
around.
soon you're just like, come on, get on the mound and throw the baseball. Get us some ground ball outs. Let us stay on our toes, not our heels.
Gregory Polanco will come up for the second time of the ball game. He grounded to DJ his first time up.
5 ground ball outs so far for Anderson, a couple of fly ball outs, and 1 strikeout.
Pirates are 42-27 since May the 6th. That's the best mark in the National League. That's a strike. Got off to a slow start in April.
10-18.
Trying to win in back-to-back seasons for the first time since the Jim Leland years in the early 90s. Oh, good sweeper there. It's 0-2.
If you're looking for a great deal and you want to help out the environment, purchase a greenback. Available on Sunday versus the Pirates. You get 2 tickets with $5 going toward the games of Green Initiative.
Ball and 2 strikes. League adjusting a little bit to Gregory Polanco. He had 338 his first 16 games, just 183 his last 21. Charlie in center field retreats, makes the catch, and the Pirates are done 1-2-3 in the third. Brett Anderson doing his thing. No hits thus far. As we go to the bottom of the third, the Rockies will have LeMahieu, Brett Anderson, and then Charlie Blackmon. With George Frazier and Mark Stout, I'm Drew Goodman. We're atop the rooftop tonight. DJ stepping up. 283 average. Charlie Morton ready to go. He's never lost to the Rockies. And then sinkers outside ball 1. You know why I got to meet a few of the players today, as did the Rockies, with Manchester United, most famous soccer teams in the world.
That's going to be in the corner.
That is a fair ball into that corner. Polanco's got to play chase. DJ's heading to third. And he's going to have a triple easily.
Not familiar with the right field corner, and DJ took advantage of it. Polanco let the ball get into this right field area. Thought he could cut the ball off. It was hit harder than you anticipate a lot of times. And as an outfielder, you don't get back on it or take the proper angle. He felt like he could probably cut this ball off. And as it got down, it drops, hits, and it's going to turn into that corner, and then it's Chase the Rabbit. In the meantime, DJ looks up, catches the brief look at the right field corner, and then just heads to third. DJ has raised his average 252 as of June 21st to 365 since then. That's the pace he's hit at. That's why he's hitting 283 now.
Brett Anderson swings away, 0-1. Infield's in because Anderson obviously is a pitcher. Against anybody else this early in the game, I'm sure Clint Hurdle would play it with the infield bat. Pirates got into town about 8:30 last night. Clint's got Carl and the kids with him, bounced to first, and no advancement at third base from DJ. So there's one out, and that'll bring up Blackman. It's a great opportunity for Clint and Carla and Maddie and Christian to reunite with old friends.
But yet the good part about Clint, and it is that, is he's so strong in the community here in Denver when he managed to took this team to a World Series. But yet he was here at early BP at 1 o'clock today. You know, business first, pleasure second, and it's great for the kids and Carla and everybody to be here. But you know, we're 3 back. We're trying to climb right back in the middle of this thing. They had early batting practice. Clint behind the cage, watching it. We're under watchful eye as batting practice went on this afternoon.
And Charlie Blackman hit a fly ball to right field his first time up. Charlie riding a 9-game hitting streak, and that was a super sinker. That thing really dropped. Waving at my man Drew up here.
Take a look at this last pitch. You see, look at, man, oh man. Talking about dropping the bottom coming right out of it.
This ball's pulled foul. Yeah, Drew Anderson, one of our outstanding photographers. We never see Drew during the games because Drew is so far away. But there he is, hiding behind. There he is.
He always likes the rooftop job. I wonder why. Same reason Stout likes it up here.
See Johnny Naudio, one of the great lounge singers in Denver today.
By far.
He's tremendous. Lead singer of Ditch Rights. 0-2 on Charlie Blackman. Outside. Went off speed. Starting to sprinkle again here at Coors Field.
By the way, the Rockies 5 for 14 in the game. They scored 6 runs. That was on Wednesday when they beat Strasburg. So they'd like to get this run pushed across.
You got to get this in. You get a leadoff triple. You've got to cash it in. Took a pitch really close. You could see Russell Martin, just body language. He wanted that pitch, and it was inside. Good call by Chris Caccione. Start getting that. That's a Greg Maddux strike zone. 2-2. Infield remains in since they got the first out. So, George, we were talking about Jorge's success at Coors Field, 42 and 14. Charlie Morton is doing the same thing Arsenal-wise that he does when he's in Pittsburgh, Los Angeles, where he's throwing that good hard sinker, and he's getting a lot of movement on it, and he's throwing his curveball, and he's getting the same movement on it that we've seen in the past.
Well, you notice with Jorge, when he has that short hesitation in his delivery, Drew, he really a conscientious staying on top of the baseball.
So that's a nasty curveball, and he strikes out Black. 2 outs, and now it will take a 2-out hit from Rutledge.
And it sounds like a really easy fix. And say, all right, all pitchers get way up on top of the baseball, but it's a matter of your elbow placement flush with that shoulder. His hands on top of the ball, even though he let the wrist fly out, the hand stayed on top, so you get the good 12-6 bite to it. Same thing with the hard sinker on the Mike Shaw Subaru Super Bowl. Rutledge chased the ball in the dirt. It was a breaking ball.
That's for a strikeout. George, that was a great view of him getting on top of that curveball, as you described, and in your vernacular, pitcher's vernacular, he can really spin it.
Well, he's got a lot of hand strength, finger strength. And that's why, I sit around flipping the ball. We've shown that in the booth before, where you flip the baseball up into the air. I guarantee you, Morton would much rather face Rutledge right now, right on right. 2 outs, and you got your infield playing at the depths you need them to play at, versus trying to hook up with Dickerson.
Mayhew at third with 2 outs. Here's the 2-0, and that's fouled off. Rutledge, since the All-Star break, hitting .364. This is where Morton's been really tough. Runners in scoring position with 2 outs this year against Morton, just 125. And a line drive base hit into the gap. Rockies take a 1-0 lead. Josh Rutledge comes through with a 2-out double. So he continues to swing it here in the second half, getting an opportunity due to the injury to Troy Tulowitzki.
Well, more importantly, there's 2 outs. He had a couple of shots to get the run in from third after the leadoff triple by DJ, and then you come up with a big hit here and on a hard breaking ball down and away from it. You see that rotation and spin, almost looks like a split finger type spin on the Mike Shaw Subaru Super Bowl. Great shot, guys. Then he just takes it right into right center field. You got a little bit of wet surface here, so when the ball's on the line, it's going to get a skip. That allowed him to get into second base.
And now a ribby opportunity for Corey Dickerson, who bounced short his first time. Side with the curveball. Dickerson's hitting 5 straight, 450 average over those 5. 2 for 3 with a pair of, with a pair of doubles on Wednesday. Hitting .359 against righties.
And the Rockies this year, when they have had great seasons, that 2-out RBI was always a huge part of it. This year they've hit .239 as a ball club, with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. But nonetheless, big hit by Josh.
In the air down the left field line, and the catch is made out there by Josh Harrison. A triple by LeMahieu and a big 2-out double by Josh Rutledge, and the Rockies have a 1-0 lead on Charlie Morton as we go to the 4th.
RBI double. They take the lead 1-0 as we go to the fourth at Coors Field. It's a Fan Friday. Use the hashtag Toyota Talk when you tweet us at @RootSports_RM. I'm going to take a look at this tweet that we have up for you. Why are the players wearing their pants up today? Well, let's go back to Wednesday and show you the Rockies Instagram account. They took some shots of the Rockies wearing their pants up. They wanted to break the slump. They had lost 7 in a row. They were slump busting, so it did the trick. So they're doing it again tonight. George, over the course of your career, any unique slump busting techniques come to mind?
You know what? Yes. But you know the ones and it was funny because Mark Littell, a guy who started with the St. Louis organization, just goofy as he could be. We called him country for a reason. And he'd say, take a different route to the ballpark. Don't shag in the same area. Don't shag in the same area. You know, wear a different pair of pants today. There's a lot of things you try to do to change things.
Any cuts for you or facial hair, any of that?
Oh, no. Never had any. You know, it was funny. I didn't do it during the ball game. We all know Todd's been well documented. Todd Helton, where he'd go and shave off the goatee, keep the mustache, all the different things that he would do. Drew, they brought an umbrella that would cover a gnat. How are we going to do this?
Where's our umbrella?
It's right here. It's going to cover a gnat. Huh?
Where'd you find that thing?
I think he found it. Hey, it's better than nothing.
What are you going to use, George?
I know. Well, what are we going to use? Doug's got that one. That's the question. Where's the blue tarp? Let's get the tarp out. We'll just put the tarp. We'll pull the tarp over us. Drew, you look like Mary Poppins right now.
We finally found a role, Doug, that you could you do successfully.
Oh boy.
Where's the big Root Sports golf umbrellas?
Well, get the blue tarp out. Just pull that over us.
Boy, that umbrella's doing some kind of job.
It is for Doug. Well, here, let me help you out here a minute, all right? Here, how's this? Is this better? Now you're getting dry. Is this better? How's that? Is that pretty good?
This is fun.
Well, here, then you hold it. Uh-oh.
Harrison has hit it foul.
Hey, you got to talk to him. Yeah, pretty close too. It was right down that left field line. On the line, got out in front enough that he just hooked it by about a foot and a half. Anderson's like, oh, stay in here. Atta baby, foul. Okay, next, give me a ball. That's just a strike.
Curveball, and this is hit center field, or right center field. Cargo's moving over. He'll make the catch. Andrew McCutchen coming up. McCutchen struck out on a curveball his first time. Andrew went to a real small high school in Polk County, Florida, 1A school. But he became a legend there. Had he not been selected the first round, he told me today he was going to go to the University of Florida. Splits time between Lakeland, Florida in the offseason and Pittsburgh. And we were just in Pittsburgh over the weekend. That's the #1 selling Pirate jersey. I can tell you that. Everybody's got a 22 on.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing about it, Drew. When I go watch guys play, whether it's high school, college, or professionally, and I see a lot of minor league games.
Yep.
I want to see the guy out there. I don't want to. Obviously, I'm looking at numbers. Can he strike somebody out? Does he win games? Does he get hits, home runs, all that? But I want to watch a guy on the field that likes being on the stage, with a smile on his face, having fun playing the game. And that sells a lot to me when I see a guy interact with the fans in the on-deck circle.
That's Andrew McCutchen, right?
Yet he can turn that switch when it's time to go to home plate. Those guys I want on my ball club. They like being on the stage.
Yeah, very pleasant young man, obviously a very gifted young man. Here's the 1-2. Change-ups in the dirt, 2-2.
Raindrops keep falling. You want to sing?
That's
Probably
one of my
not.
all-time favorite movies, though.
Is
That
it? Mine too.
track
Yeah,
from
you bet.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Ooh, hit it.
Curveball rifle foul. McCutcheon stopped playing football in the 10th grade, and after he got drafted by the Pirates, the University of Miami called to see if he wanted to play football.
Well, why wouldn't you? He's a great athlete, great speed. You know, you take him and you put him at wide receiver, put him at running back, put him at defensive back. I bet he can cover guys. You know, one of the great stories heard, and he reminds me a little bit of Deion Sanders with his athleticism, was when he was with Atlanta. You know how the pitchers would run, and then the pitching coach throws the ball to him. Well, a bunch of pitchers started, you know, joking around. Oh, you can't cover me, cover this. Not one guy caught the baseball. Go foul. Hooked it. He did in the upper deck. But not one guy could catch a ball on Deion.
Catch a baseball.
Yeah, they're running a pattern. He doesn't know which way they're cutting or doing anything. He didn't beat him one time. And I think McCutcheon would probably be one of those same type of guys.
Not too many of those guys on Sunday beat him
No,
trying to catch a football.
He really liked that part too, didn't he?
It's the 9th pitch of the at-bat. 2-2 on McCutcheon, and it's on the ground short. Rutledge gets rid of it quickly. Nice pick at first by Ben Paulson. So Brett's got the first 2 in the 4th inning, and Gabby Sanchez will come up.
And Paulson a little underrated on his ability to handle the ball over there. I mean, he did a really good job with it. Picks in the dirt. I've talked about his bat. Been pretty consistent. Can you either raise that umbrella up or quit hitting me in the head with it, one or the other?
Strike 1 on Sanchez.
Late swing on a fastball. 91 miles an hour. When you're down in the zone a lot, you can elevate a fastball, and hitters can't react quick enough. That's what happened to Gabby at 91. You see on the 4th strike zone. First pitch is kind of middle and down, and then the last above the hands and away.
0-2 on Sanchez. Fastball outside and high. 1-2. Son of a coach, he loves to play. Brett Anderson's 1-2 is pounded into the ground. Here comes Nolan. And it's another outstanding inning for Brett Anderson. Rockies leading 1-0, middle of 4th. We're going to head back to the booth. Jeff Houston's going to carry you till we get there.
Getting a shot of the rooftop as we pan out. And this is Jeff Houston. I'm filling in for Drew Goodman and George Frazier as they're getting ready to walk back down, get out of the rain a little bit. Until they get back down here, I'll be carrying it for the next half inning or inning or so. So sit back, wait for those guys to come back, but it's a pleasure to be with you. Gonzalez struck out his first time up, and he's still in that slump where he's trying to figure out where the foot goes, what's happening with the hands. But with a player like Cargo, you can do all the studies. He's had good BP sessions. It will translate one of these days. It's kind of been the pitching matchup we expected it to be with Morton and Brett Anderson. They both have went up against each other last week in Pittsburgh, and that's what's really neat about these new schedules, the way they try to work them, where you'll play a team, you'll have a series in between, and then you'll play them again. A soft pop up to be credited to the shortstop, but it's actually the over on the third base side. But let's go back to Brett Anderson and what he has done tonight. It has just been spectacular on the heels of the 7-inning performance out in Pittsburgh. Utilizing the off-speed pitches, the fastballs, changeups, getting the Pittsburgh Pirates off balance and out in front. A lot of ground ball rollovers to Nolan tonight. It's just good to see him round into the form that you really expected him coming out of spring training with the finger and everything. He was set back for the 2.5 weeks, or excuse me, 2.5 months. One of those Nolan to look back on. At first you're mad because you check swing back to the pitcher, but then you don't run hard and the pitcher bobbles the ball and he still throws you out. When you're mad, so you kind of pull up a little bit. But then Charlie Morton bobbles it, still gets him by a eyelash. Those teaching moments. For Charlie Morton tonight, 49 pitches, 29 for strikes. One of the guys he did walk right here at the plate, Ben Paulson. Ben Paulson, since he's been called up, first of all, it goes to opening night with all the jitters. You got your family in town watching you. Go out and have a couple of hits, RBIs. But on the last series against the Nats, 5 for 11, a double, couple RBIs, and really spraying the ball all over the place. Not become just a strict pull guy or hit it the other way. Most of the time when you come up, you're so amped up. You're so excited to be here that you want to pull everything. You want to hit everything into the third deck. But not for Ben Paulson, and now because of it, the Pirates have to play him straight up. I heard George talking about Charlie Morton in the open and how you look at his record, it's not indicative of the type of stuff that he has. A 76, 78 mile an hour curveball. He'll hip side fastball to the left-handers. Some of that goes back to the offense of the Pirates when they were earlier this year and even into last year. They weren't scoring a whole lot of runs. Very simple approach for Ben. Gets it into the box, and then it's a toe tap to get the hands loaded back to where he wants them to be before the pitch is delivered. In case you're just jumping on board, quick reminder, George and Drew were up at the rooftop, started to rain, so they're going to be working their way down here. Until then, it's Jeff Houston. I'll be filling in when they get down here. We'll have some more fun. Talk about fun. How about Ben Paulson with that another single? Just a nice looking swing. Ball back up the middle. Sinking fastball in the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. Head down. Everything about that swing just leads to hit after hit after hit. That's some hustle. Willie Rosario, after it went off the glove of Gabby Sanchez, not taking a chance for Neil Walker to come over and throw him out. Right behind home plate. Will lean one hopper to Gabby Sanchez. He ends up being about 88 feet away from home plate by the time he hits the ball, and then the hustle down the line for a base hit. Still 1-0 as we head to the top of the 5th inning.
Here at Coors Field, it is a Fan Friday. You can tweet us at @rootsports_RM. Use the hashtag Toyota Talk. I'm going to show you one from Luke. Luke is asking about Corey Dickerson and getting involved in the batting race because he's hitting 330 something. You have to have 3.1 ABs per game, I'm pretty sure, and those guys can talk about that a little bit more. It's kind of a technicality within the game, and whether he'll get there or not, I'm not sure. But up here on the rooftop, if you want, you can get your photo taken. They have a photo booth. It is free and unlimited, at least for now. So you can go in and do some stances and have 4 photos and do it as much as you want. So another cool thing they have up here on the rooftop, guys.
Well, you're solo up there now, Mark.
I know I am.
Yeah, you're all on your own, pal. Me and you're the tough guy out, pal.
I'm all
right
good.
where we want to be. Happy, happy.
You guys got down here in a hurry.
Yeah, you know what? I really enjoyed the rooftop. Unfortunately, it was sprinkling up there. We'll have to go back there again. Charlie Culberson's in for Nolan Arenado, and there's an opposite field base hit. And that's the first hit of the ball game off Brett Anderson as Neil Walker reaches. Well, Nolan Arenado is in the dugout, and we caught, you know, Huey, you were describing it. George and I obviously were walking from up there. He had a comebacker, and he didn't go very hard, evidently, to first. And I'm guessing that didn't sit real well with Walt.
Well, first,
unless he got hurt, we don't know about it. So
yeah,
I want to be fair.
Right, and you could use it either way. I like to think of it as a teaching moment, because you're mad because you check swing back to the pitcher.
Right.
And then you just bust it down the line.
Yeah, and I think that right there, they tell you from Walt that it's probably, and he's going to know. He knew right there in his mind. You see what he right in his mind, he knew immediately that what he did was wrong. And I'm hypothetically reading into all of this, but I know how Walt Weiss played the game and how he expects his players to play.
So a leadoff single by Walker, just the second base runner. As we mentioned, the first hit. Russell Martin, who's at the plate, was behind 0-2 and ended up working out a walk in the first. Excuse me, I should say in the second inning, his first at bat. 1-0 Rockies, triple by LeMahieu, 2-out double by Rutledge.
Pretty good pitch by Anderson.
Well,
hey, how we doing?
Yeah, back in the booth.
Hey, here he picked us up. He pitched the fifth. He pitched the bottom. What did you pitch? The bottom of the fourth.
I'm not sure what you guys were complaining about. I was dry the whole time.
I understand.
It was not dry when we left.
Okay.
No.
And that'll probably be beautiful the rest of the evening.
Right.
Let me ask you something, because you had to go solo there for a half inning. Did Sammy contribute anything? Because it was just you and Sam.
No, he just stood behind the camera, turned on a couple lights. I wanted him to come down here and put the headset on and join me, but he said no.
You were better off on your own, trust me.
I see Dougie made it too.
Yeah, Doug stopped off though, I think.
Look
for
at that beautiful rainbow.
Rainbow.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
We were on the other end of that rainbow also, George. We missed our pot of gold.
I'm going to go back up and see if I can see it from up there.
2 on for Jordy
Come on, Gary, let's
Mercer.
go.
Okay.
Catching up on the scorebook. So Paulson and Rosario with base hits. That's to third. Step on the bag. What? Can we get 3? Triple play off the bag at second. Double play. Off the bag at second. They didn't give him the neighborhood play. Tom Hallion, veteran umpire, had the opportunity to give him the neighborhood play. It would have been a 5-4-3 triple play. Walt's going to go out and have a discussion.
Actually, it turns into 5-6, Drew, because they were in such a swing. Rutledge takes the throw from shortstop because they had swung over defensively.
You're right, Huey. Yeah, you turned ton of double plays. What do you think? Should they have given this to him?
I think they would have if it's a normal double play, but not when you're talking about a possible triple play.
I think he's a long ways off the bag, too. See, he's not.
Foot.
Ooh,
yeah,
you better look at that one.
You got to look at that one.
Yeah, you bet.
You bet. To.
That.
How about that?
That's one of those deals. Absolutely, that's one of those deals live. It didn't look that close. Then you slow it down. His foot may have still been touching the bag.
And as a shortstop, you come from behind the bag and you want to clip the outside portion just like Josh did. So watch the right foot drag behind the bag. The foot's on the bag there, ball's in the glove.
I think it's a triple play. I think that's a triple play. Your basic 5-6-3 triple play. You see those, what, about once a week, right?
Yeah.
Crowd's reacting now. This manager's challenge of Walt Weiss brought to you by Subaru's Eyesight Driver Assist technology, a vigilant safety feature that gives peace of mind to every drive.
Again,
and they're both watching.
Right.
They're seeing it.
Well, I was watching all the guys in the middle with DJ and Rudd and Charlie.
Watch. Ball and glove, foot on bag.
Yeah, he's out. But they were giving high fives when they were looking up at the big board here at Coors Field.
And I understand why Tom Hallion thought he's off the bag, because, I mean,
it just appeared that he was so far off.
Now they're going to try to take a really conclusive look of whether the foot hit that bag when it came across. I think that's the question in the mind right now in New York. Right here is there, you know, they're trying to take every angle they can to get to that foot to see, but you can see the foot change a little direction when it hit the corner of the bag.
How about Charlie Culberson having to come into the game? First ground ball that he gets, he steps on the bag and has to throw to a lead shortstop.
Yeah, how about that? Nice, huh? Because of the setup defensively,
Right.
That's why Josh took it. Yeah, how many guys? Okay, here's something for you. Hey, Dougie, look this up for me. Guy comes into game and turns triple play in his first place when he enters the game. How many times does that happen?
You might
Come
lock
on,
that
Dougie.
computer up.
Yeah.
Rockies had a triple play earlier this year against the Padres on May 18th, which was their third ever triple play. That toes on the bag.
That's the best look to show that the foot was on the corner of the bag as the ball is going into the glove.
See, and in a positioning,
Right
in
there.
fairness to the umpires, if we could stop it when Josh is touching the bag, if you could replay that part of it again, and we may end up getting an answer before that. But for his positioning where he is, he's in this direct line. He can't see the back of the bag right now. See, he's
True.
just looking to
Yeah.
see where he's at. Okay, did the foot apparently touch or not touch because of his positioning? And he's in the right position. He just can't see
We're
it.
getting the answer right now.
Wow.
Man. The only thing I can surmise from that is that in New York they felt like you can't 100% tell if the toe's on the bag.
Well, that's what with the angles we were seeing, if that's the same angles, could they tell it exactly? And that's the angles they're taking a look at.
So it goes as a 5-6-3 double play. Could walk Morel and go with Charlie Morton here at first base open.
That's what they're going to do.
Yeah, Morel, even though he's only had 3 at-bats this year at the big league level, it is a powerful bat. He was hitting fourth for their AAA ball club, playing third every day. Morton on the year is hitting .063, not a high career average. His plate percentage, you got a 1-0 lead.
And the Rockies aren't scoring a lot of runs right now with all the injuries in their lineup. Morton's throwing the baseball well. You're up 1-0, and don't mess around. So Morel goes to first, 2 outs. Martin's at second. Charlie Morton will come to the plate.
We had fun up on the rooftop.
I was just thinking
wouldn't have rained on us much.
that view you had.
Well, the view was beautiful, but the sun's out now. But folks, I'll tell you, it looked pretty ugly when Drew. They told us to evacuate. We got out of there and headed on down here to the broadcast booth. But if you haven't had a chance to get to the rooftop, get to the rooftop.
DJ's over there. Paulson went over to field the baseball, so DJ had to wait for him to get there. And Brett Anderson works out of it. Middle of 5, 1-0. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Ford Focus. Big MPGs and fun to drive. Ford, go further. By University of Colorado Health. And by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. Well, we were at the rooftop the first half of the game. Started sprinkling a little bit. We've moved back down to the booth. Beautiful night now as the sun has come out in the early evening. Rockies leading 1-0 as they come to bat here in the bottom of the 5th. Brett Anderson will lead it off against Charlie Morton. And then Charlie Blackmon and Josh Rutledge. Drew Goodman, Jeff Hewson, George Frazier. George checking the minor league scoreboard. Anything
Mark
going on?
Stout? No, not a whole lot right now. Just kind of waiting for things to get kicked in here. Tyler Anderson did throw the ball very well for the Tulsa Ball Club last night. They are in a battle, a big battle with Arkansas right now. That's the AA affiliation of the Angels. The Tulsa Drillers already won the first half, looking to try to pick off the second half.
And a ground ball to second. And Anderson is retired on the first pitch.
I like the way they do that in the minor leagues, 2 halves, because there's so much volatility and movement within organizations and teams. You get kind of hit the reset button right before the All-Star break.
Well, a lot of kids that have developed at high A, then you get to move them to Double A when they're ready, and i.e. Trevor Story, Chris O'Dowd, both getting moved along with Will Swanner right after the break and added to the Tulsa Ball Club. They deserve the promotion just as David Dahl did the other day. He was moved from Asheville to high A in Modesto. That Asheville Ball Club, I'm going to tell you what, boys, it is loaded with a lot of talent. They have played great baseball there. Mark Brewer, first year as the pitching coach there. Freddie Ocasio, the manager. They have put on a show down there. Asheville 68-35 right now.
Outside on Blackmon. 1-3, Rockies and Pirates. Rockies swept the series against the Pirates last year. Pirates had won 3 straight series in Denver prior to that. Rockies 49-33 in Denver against the Bucks.
Sort of a 10-game road trip for Pittsburgh.
They're in a weird stretch where everything's against the NL West. Won 5 their first 6 against the West. They moved into a tie yesterday with or 2 days ago with the Cardinals in second behind Milwaukee, 3 games back in the Central. Tell you what, between LeMahieu and Walker tonight, second basemen are busy.
And what you expected coming into the game with these 2 guys, the sinker ball pitchers. I always liked that, knowing when a sinker ball was on the hill when I was coming to the park as an infielder. I couldn't wait. That's why you take all those ground balls during batting practice.
Absolutely.
Josh Rutledge, that big double to right center field with 2 outs. That was large, man, because you have a leadoff triple. Next thing you know, you need a 2-out hit to score that guy at third.
Gives you a little life in your dugout. If you don't score that, the other team has that momentum.
Well, and I mentioned you talked about the ground ball outs, to kind of switch it back to what we were talking about earlier. You can see the ball on the outside half of the zone now in a 1-2 count. You're on your toes, not your heels.
Yes.
You know, as an infielder.
This ball's lifted to left field. Josh Harrison waiting. He's got it, and we are through 5 innings at Coors Field. The Rockies have the only run. Pitchers duel between Brett Anderson and Charlie Morton. Here's our First Bank game recap. First Bank, the home of free checking, is proud to support the home team. Sign up at eatfirstbank.com. Brett Anderson has allowed 1 hit, 5 shutout innings. Charlie Morton has allowed 1 run on 4 hits and 5 innings. Josh Rutledge, the RBI, a double in the 3rd to score DJ LeMahieu, who had tripled. In the 6th, Gregory Polanco at the top of the Pirates order.
Still very good command of the off-speed pitch. His 76th of the ball game. 50 have been strikes.
Good curveball.
You find out on a young player the adjustments it takes to succeed consistently at the big league level. Saw 2 big sliders for 1 call strike and 1 swing. Then you go fastball away. Good choice. See if he'll chase after that a little bit.
Well, I don't know how he didn't swing at that. 2-2.
Anytime it starts at a hitter, then they recognize the big bend to it. Sometimes they'll lay off of that and hope it gets out of the strike zone, and it did.
He went right back to it and fouls it off.
Right into his ribcage. I'll give you another look at it on the Mike Shaw Subaru Super Bowl. There's a little rib shot. 2-2 count, nobody out, and the Pirates, this big inning for me, for Anderson at the top of their lineup. 3rd time that they've had a look at him. So far, really, really good for Brett Anderson. See a lot of those pitches, pitching away from the power. One of his strengths. Hard ground ball, also handled for the 1st out.
That'll bring up Josh Harrison, a ground ball to 2nd and a fly ball to right field. Harrison just 4 for 21 since the break. Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. Anderson trying to produce his first victory in a Rockies uniform. This ball's well hit right center field. Charlie gets back, leaps and makes a catch. Got in the neighborhood, and then the ball had a little bit more carry to it. Blackman is so athletic, jumped and made the catch. 2 outs.
And you saw that he looked immediately at the flags around the ballpark to see why he thought he had a beat on this ball from the get-go. Then right at the last second had to really extend and get off the ground to make a play on this baseball. Yeah, check back up. Was there a gust of wind somewhere that he didn't have a read on? Nice play, nice catch.
Andrew McCutchen back live, pulls it foul. 84 pitches in for Brett Anderson. Changeup just missed. Well, it's July the 25th, so we're talking about almost 2 months in time. Our cool stat, Steel T Heating and Air Cool Stat, never a trip charge for repair, $69 value. T stands for trust. Go to steelt.com. Since June 1st, McCutchen leading everybody with a 341 average in the National League. Corey Dickerson's next at 331. Tulo at 324 is 5th on that list. Again, McCutchen, the National League Player of the Month in June. He's having a strong July also. It's 13 home runs, by the way, since June 1st. Is 2nd in the National League. 40 ribbies, the most of anybody in the National League. And that's a base hit to left past the diving Charlie Culberson. bring up Gabby Sanchez. Center field in the air and third base on the ground for Sanchez.
Mark your calendars for Country on the Rocks, presented by Wells Fargo, this Sunday, featuring a post-game concert by country music star Sarah Evans. This concert will be free to all the fans that have a ticket for the ball game of the Rockies Pirates game. So get your tickets today for that. And Sarah Evans Sunday right after the ball game. That ought to be a blast.
See that 4 on the right sleeve of all the Pittsburgh Pirates. That's to honor the late Ralph Kiner, who is a Hall of Famer, 369 home runs in 10 years with Pittsburgh. This off the end of the bat. Shallow left field, and Dickerson gets over there.
Well, I thought that ball in the lead 4-2. This must be a little wind or carry in here somewhere that's not being picked up a lot.
Dickerson makes the grab, and we'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning. 1-0 Colorado. Nothing. Dickerson, Gonzalez, Culberson here in the 6th inning. The AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your fan photo to hashtag #COFanPhoto for a chance to be shown just like this in an upcoming game. What do we have tonight? She gets to kiss Dinger. Wow. Yes. Our fan photo of the game brought to you by AT&T. Corey Dickerson's going to lead things off. Ground ball to short and fly ball to left field.
You know, the one thing I'm missing about leaving the rooftop up there, they were bringing us a chub burger in the 5th.
Really?
Yes.
Rats.
Just so we get to taste a little bit of the cuisine up there and let the fans know how good it is.
One and two.
It doesn't matter left or right. He's been able to really command his pitches. 73 throw. As he works here in the 6th, he and Anderson going toe to toe. The Pirates just 2 hits. The Rockies 4 hits in a run.
Giants and Dodgers tonight. A couple of notes about that game, which is yet to start. It's Lincecum and Greinke. This ball is well hit to center field with McCutcheon's there. Yasiel Puig's going to play center field tonight. And for the Giants, you know who got called up and is in their lineup this evening? Dan Uggla.
That doesn't surprise me. I'm sure when he signed the contract with them, you're rusty, you haven't played, agree to go down to the minor leagues, give me a couple of starts down there, go down and get some at bats, and let's see what you do. And again, if he goes down and performs well, Drew, this is a guy that's a chance to hit 40, 45 home runs with Scudero questionable. They sent Hicks out last week. So, I mean, you know, you're giving a guy a chance here to go down to the minor leagues, get your swing put together. Hey, if it turns out like we think it can, it's obviously a very inexpensive power bat for the San Francisco Giants.
He's batting 7th tonight.
And it's prorated. I mean, the Atlanta Braves are on the hook for the $16 million that they ate. But it's a matter of, cost you $500,000. By the way, Dan Uggla was 2 for 5 there with an RBI. Hit 286 or 2 for 7. And with the Fresno Grizzlies.
Tried to get him on that changeup a 3rd time. It's 1 and 2 on Cargo. A strikeout and a pop to short.
And he may have had a 2-week out. You know, a lot of these guys sign minor league contracts and they have, I'll go there for 14 days. If you don't call me up, I want to be able to walk away and negotiate with other clubs.
Two and 2. Rockies 1 and 5 so far in the 2nd half. After this 3-game set against the Pirates, they'll go to Chicago for 4 and then on to Detroit. Cargo has hit 1 home run since his return, and it came against Charlie Morton, and it was a big one. Got the breaking ball, hit it out, and gave the Rockies a 7th inning 2-1 lead. Unfortunately, the Rockies couldn't hold it. 2 and 2. And he goes curveball again. Cargo now, after being in a ditch, 0-2, has the count to 3-2.
Notice on the 4th strike zone, not anything repeating itself. It does. It's the sinker down and away, elevated, and the breaking ball consistently, trying to throw it behind that back foot. A lot of times, left-handers that are off the plate, you feel like you could sweep it into that back corner back there and get them.
High fly ball to center field, and McCutchen will make the catch. 2 gone. So Charlie Culberson will hit for the first time. He came into the ball game for Nolan Arenado after the 4th inning. The Ford Strike Zone is powered by Ford Cars, Big MPG, smart technology, unsurpassed quality. See what happens when fun meets the road. Ford, go further. Since we haven't heard of an injury to Nolan Arenado and seen him sitting in the dugout, we are speculating that Nolan was pulled for not hustling to first base on a check swing comebacker in which Charlie Morton didn't field it cleanly, still got the out at first. Jordy Mercer. And the Rockies go quickly and quietly in the 6th. We'll go to the 7th inning. The Rockies leading 1-0.
Today, Fan Friday. All you have to do is use the hashtag Toyota Talk and hit us up at @RooseSports_RM. Let me show you a couple of photos here. We've got Brandon Barnes and a young fan showing off his tats. I see him there. They look pretty cool. And then we have another photo of LaTroy Hawkins. LaTroy Hawkins is a cool cat. In fact, you know, his daughter is in town. He was having a little catch with her before the game. So we're having a little bit of fun up here on the rooftop. The party continues on the field as well. Let's go back to Drew and George, guys.
All right, Mark, thank you. Neil Walker's at the plate. Brett Anderson in the 7th inning will face Walker. Martin Mercer, 5, 6, and 7. Walker had the first base hit for the Pirates. They have all of 2. And that hit came in the 5th inning. McCutchen a 2-out single in the 6th inning. Rockies almost turned a triple play in the 5th. There was a leadoff single by Walker. Martin walked behind it, so there's 2 on, nobody out. Jordy Mercer hit a ground ball right over the third base bag. Culberson gloved it, and the Rockies had the shortstop, in this case Rutledge, much closer to the bag, so he fired to Rutledge, who then fired to first. Now the throw from Culberson took Rutledge a little bit toward second base, and excuse me, toward first base, or right field, probably a better way to describing it. And the second base umpire Tom Hallion said he was off the bag. They reviewed it for what, about 3.5 minutes, George?
Yeah, at least, yep.
And the only thing that kept it from being a 5-6-3 triple play was that review. It was very, very close. Instead it went as a 5-6-3 double play.
See, I just don't think they could clearly see that that foot of Josh Rutledge was on the back side of the bag. I mean, that's the only thing I can come up with. Here's a look at it right here. Right there, it hit right on the back of the bag. It caught the back. I mean, we could see it here, but obviously New York, when they looked at it, it wasn't clear to them.
And the funny thing about it is, oftentimes you get what's known in baseball as the neighborhood play, and they allow, for safety reasons, that middle infielder to clear himself sometimes early from the base runner going in hard to the bag. And they were real literal with that call. 3-2 on Walker. Rays won again tonight. They've won 8 in a row. They're 3 games under 500 now. They look like they were buried a while ago. Dickerson makes the catch. Walker retired. Martin coming up. Subaru brings you the manager's challenge. If there's a questionable call, there already was one. Instant replay, as you know, will be used. It's brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. So you didn't get to have your burger, you're having some pepperoni pizza, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I am. Busy day today, Drew. Busy day.
I saw you bright and early. I want to thank all the good folks at the Courtyard by Marriott, where you spend a lot of time. You and Trace, the cowboy.
I'm waiting for you at Sam's for breakfast. You know, showed us.
Yeah, they took great care of my wife and I last night. I wanted to go to Sam's and see if they still let you in there.
They let me in. 4th booth on the right.
So we got a post-breakfast conversation with you early.
Yeah, I'm sitting down on the park bench out front, relaxing, and all of a sudden here's the beautiful Mrs. Goodman sits down next to me.
Thought she'd surprise you, huh?
Yeah, she did.
3-1. Martin's walked twice. Only 2 walks. Brett Anderson. Actually, he intentionally walked Brett Morrell. So now he's walked Martin 3 times. And you go, well, is there some history there where Martin's owned him, that sort of thing? Nope. Martin's 0 for 6 against Brett Anderson.
Yeah, for whatever reason, he just kind of missed out on a couple of those right there, and then hadn't come through with it. Yeah, they thought the fingernail maybe. A little blister starting to happen inside of that. And Tommy Canley's warming up down in the bullpen right now, trying to get loose as quick as he can. Keith Duggar's going to look at it. You deal with that in the dry air out here, and that's one of the things that's tough to deal with. Dry skin, cracks, starts to go, and then it can really work itself into a big thing. Up to him, though. See, that's it.
He's got to go. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Not on Brett Anderson, just the continued buzzard's love for this club. Brett Anderson is pitching a shutout. He's rolling along. His last start, he went 110 pitches. And you can see how upset he is. He obviously has a blister that opened up, and he cannot continue with 1 out in the 7th and a man on. So the bullpen's got to pick him up. After 102 pitches, Tommy Kahnle will have all the time he needs to get ready. Rockies leading the Pirates 1-0. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By McDonald's. Now at McDonald's you can enjoy a sweet, creamy McCafe iced coffee. And by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. 6 in the third, the Rockies leading 1-0. Game of cornhole going on the mezzanine section. Oh, that's up on the rooftop. And there's the blister. And sometimes, if you've never pitched, George, describe why that is such a debilitating injury.
Well,
it's not an
the
injury,
seam,
but
no, but the seam gets on a corner, but like a fingernail, and all the pressure's on that seam, and so as a result of that, it starts to crack, and particularly here in Colorado, you remember John Thompson actually had a fingernail removed because of it. But it just dries out, and it starts to crack, and when it cracks, it ends up starting to split apart. The skin does, and then obviously it becomes very painful to be able to hang on to the baseball. Now, a lot of times, there was a guy, Jim Brewer. Matter of fact, I talked about his son Mark, pitching coach with us now. I remember when I first started throwing in January, he'd say, all right, go get an ice cube and rub it all over that finger, and it would become a real hard callus. But you know, at times that still cracks and still hurts.
One of the things we've learned from Walt the last week or so, he's got Brett Anderson back in the fold. He's got De La Rosa, who's been very, very good all year. He's letting them go. I mean, 110 pitches from Brett Anderson in his last outing. He has to leave only because of that blister at 102. Jorge Frege on Wednesday went 110 pitches.
We're going out there for a while until the opposition tells us it's time for me to come get it. It's not going to be how many pitches you threw. So I think, too, with Kahnle, he's coming into the ballgame for one reason. The opposition has hit 186 against Tommy this year, which leads all National League rookies for batting against. 39th ballgame for him to appear in.
very good earned run average, and he'll inherit a runner at first base and try to clean up this 7th inning and get in the dugout.
Well, it's on the bullpen again to preserve this 1-0 lead. Been a rough go for the bullpen. They've been overworked with all the injuries to the starting rotation and the lack of long outings. They've given up at least a run in 17 of their last 19. Trying to put up zeros tonight. Getting one out here in the 7th. Mercer at the plate. Martin draws a glance. Earlier in his career, Martin was a threat to steal. One of those catchers that ran pretty well.
Kenny wants to have a conversation with Wayne about a pitch called. Make sure they're on the same page and attacking the hitter.
You go back earlier in Martin's career, George, as the conference is brief. In 2007 with the Dodgers, he stole 21 bases. The next year he stole 18 bases. Those are not those are middle infielder numbers, not catcher numbers.
Exactly. That's not a catcher's number. That's John Wathan type numbers. You go back, he has the most steals, I think, of a catcher.
Even last year with the Bucks, Martin stole 9 bases.
Picks his spots in the right places. John Wathan one year stole 38 bases. Now I don't know. I'm drawing a blank here. You're gonna have to help me. The former catcher with the Pirates has stole a lot of bases. His dad was a bullpen coach for us. So I'm drawing a blank. Jason Kendall stole a lot of bases.
Yeah. Jason could run. Freddie couldn't, though.
Freddie, throughout his career, his bat ran away from the baseball. Love Freddie. He knows I do.
Freddie's in San Diego, isn't he?
Yeah, he's living inland now. Got some horses, having fun.
Boy, he'd love to talk catch. I remember on a bus ride once, he wanted to show a particular technique. Bus is bouncing down the highway. Freddie's in a crouch in the middle of the bus. Remember that, George?
Oh yeah, loving every minute of it. Love to instruct.
2-1 on Jordy Mercer. And that's inside. 3-1.
Yeah, the only left-hander the Rockies have in their bullpen. Rex Brothers has started to throw.
There goes Martin, and it's fouled off. Brett Anderson, back-to-back terrific performances. And it's hard to do. George, you know this, man. It's hard to have similar outings, dominant outings, against the same team in the same week.
It's very difficult to do that because you say, okay, do I have to change my repertoire when I go after this hitter? Do I got out on soft curveballs? Do I tack in with the fastball? How do I go about it?
Martin's going again, 3-2. This is lifted to left field, playable for Dickerson, so Martin will backpedal toward first, and that's the second out.
The big key, I think, for a catcher and to communicate with his pitcher is you watch hitters as you go through that second, third time through a lineup to see if they're making adjustments. Are they crowding the plate more? You know, it's one thing hitters will do if you work them away. And if they start to crowd, how good's his fastball tonight? Can we get in on their hands? So you make those adjustments.
Well, they're going to pinch hit Pedro Alvarez for Morel here. He's been battling, as we told you off the top of the broadcast, a gimpy knee. Didn't play on Wednesday.
Yeah, but he's going left on right. He's taking his shot here in the 7th inning to go right at Canely and see if he can get produce a ball or a long ball here.
And Tommy comes right after him at 96. It's 0-1.
A lot of times you will see managers do things of this nature, and really the reasoning behind it is I may not get a shot again.
Yeah, we saw Jim Tracy do that a lot with Giambi.
Yeah, you take your shot when you guys think you're going to have a chance. You're not running him up there against the closer.
That's a good block by Willeen. 1-1.
Take a look at this again on a hard breaking ball. Now, fastball. A little tail to it, well out in front. You kind of self-defense there. As a catcher, you don't know if it's going to skip, stay low, so you got to really stay down. And as a result of staying down low, you may take it off a wrist or the chest protector. You don't know really where it's going to come up to. Walk happens here. Clint's preparing as he gets his bullpen going. Watson, the left-hander's up. Nasty.
Beautiful pitch. Canely works 2/3 of an inning in the 7th. Martin is left at first base, and the Rockies continue to have a 1-0 lead. Let's look back. Brought to you by Cooney Lexus, where luxury has a new address, open in Greenwood Village in Colorado Springs. Brett Anderson allowed 2 hits in 6 1/3, no runs. Had to leave with a blister after 102 pitches. The Rockies only run against Charlie Morton. A triple by LeMahieu leading off in the 3rd, and then with 2 outs, Josh Rutten said, "I will not strand you." He doubles to the gap in right center field. It's the only run in this ball game. Rockies coming up here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Ben Paulson to face Charlie Morton. Paulson a walk and a single. That's where we were earlier, and then it started sprinkling on us, and we had to depart from the beautiful rooftop here.
We
at
did get a
Coors
jump
Field.
burger and some fries, though. We did. I begged hard enough that I said it's coming in the 5th. It actually got here in the 6th. It was all good.
Well, that's because they had to go a little farther. They had to
that's
walk
right.
all the way down here. Paulson continues to impress. He's hitting .500. That's a good average. 500 works. He's got a 4-game hitting streak to begin his career, the longest by a Rocky to start a career. How many do you think, George? I'm going to say 16. And the guy who produced it played a long time.
Todd Helton.
It's not Todd Helton.
Larry Walker.
It's not Larry. Well, Larry Walker didn't begin his career here.
That
is fair down the right field line. And then it rolls into that corner. Paulson will shut it down at second with the leadoff double here in the 7th.
Yeah, he's 2 for 2 in this ball game right now after a single down, this double down in the right field corner. Yeah, it always makes the manager and everybody else in the organization feel great. See Benny having his success at the big league level. Hanging breaking ball that time for Morton, and he got after it. Just picked up enough chalk down that line to convince the first base umpire, Eric Cooper, that it was a fair ball. Paulson pulls up at second.
You know what? He's swinging the bat like a John Olerud right now. He's used the whole ballpark.
Well, he shows power. You see it with the doubles, the triples, and the home runs that he hit at Colorado Springs.
Here's Willeen. 1 for 2. Willeen had a single his last time up. Part of a 16-game hitting streak to begin their career in a Rockies uniform.
Navy Perez.
Not Navy. This guy had a long career with several teams and just recently retired. And we like him a lot.
Well, I like all the Rockies. Ex-Rockies, too.
Yeah.
Recently retired.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
The particular affection for this guy. Played the game the right way. Every day. This ball drilled toward left center field. Touch and go. Paulson around third. He'll score. And Willeen into second with a double. And it's 2-0 Colorado.
Now you want to try to hang on to help out your bullpen late in the ball game, and you're doing that right now. Paulson led it off with a double. Willeen follows it up with a double. Heavy sinking fastball. Willeen went down and got it. That's hard to do, to lift that ball up off of the ground when you're trying to hit that sinker down and in. The Mike Shaw Subaru Super Bowl. Velocity at 89 miles an hour on the pitch, hit into left center field. Paulson comes around to make it a 2-0 ball game. And it's time for a little conference on the mound as they work their way to the bottom. But DJ's been one of the strongest hitters for the Rockies.
Ray Searage conducting the conference. For Willeen, his first RBI in the second half. Clint Hurdle looking at some of his options and some of the matchups. What all those highlighted figures are. DJ 1 for 2. Six for his last 13 at the plate. Stubbs on deck. DJ trying to move Willeen any way he can.
Brothers and Ottavino throwing in the Rockies bullpen. Brothers was warming up previously. Ottavino just started.
Won't prolong the answer anymore. The guy that had the longest hitting streak to begin their career with the Rockies. 16 games. Juan Pierre. That would make sense, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And this ball bounced through the left side. Willeen will stop at third. That's a good piece of hitting right there. He saw a big vacancy, George, so he made sure he got the bat head out.
Yeah,
big vacancy on the left side.
Yeah, you get a ball on the inner half of the plate and it's sinking into you. If you can clear the front side out, it gives you that opportunity to get the bat head to it. And DJ just got there in a hurry to it. He had a heavy sinker, but it was up a little bit in the zone too, not typical down the way it had been. Clint will make that change now. It'll be a straight up change. He goes down to the bullpen for the right-hander. When you come into Coors Field, you pat the guy on the back. 7 hits, two runs so far with runners first and third, nobody out. The Rockies looking to add on. Morton Anderson again, very good.
pitching matchup and duel. The Rockies lead it 2-0. Runners at first and third and nobody out.
Straight hits here in the 7th. Double by Paulson, double by Rosario, single by LeMahieu. Stubbs pinch hitting. Ernesto Frieri will take over for the Pirates. Let's take a look at our CenturyLink link to what's next. Pitching matchup tomorrow. Jeff Locke will go for the Pirates, and Tyler Matzik will go for the Rockies. Matzik's been throwing the ball well. Jeff Locke started the year in AAA, was an all-star last year.
And they'll go down to their bullpen. Frieri, who you're familiar with from the San Diego Padres, the right-hander coming out of their bullpen. They needed this piece, trying to complete things. He's only pitched in 10 ball games. 1-1 record, 7.771 earned run average. Very high for 7 innings thrown here. But he does have 6 strikeouts. The Rockies will go to their bullpen, or excuse me, their bench. They don't have any left-handed guys to offer coming off the bench to pinch hit. Don't need one. The guy's third in the league at 429 as a pinch hitter.
And the first pitch in there for a strike on Drew. Stubbs since April the 18th, after a slow start in the new uniform, has hit .313, which is actually the 7th best in the National League with guys with at least 200 at bats. Started 3 for 22. Didn't have a great spring either, to be frank, but he's been very, very productive since the opening couple of weeks. Good teammate, good man, Drew Stubbs. And you'll be hard pressed to find a better athlete in the game all around. Two.
95-mile-an-hour fastball. He can rear it up and get after it. Talking about Frieri, elevated that fastball and able to get it by him.
George, as you know, for Nick Frieri came in that even-up trade with Jason Grilli. Grilli all of a sudden had slumped with the Pirates. Frieri had slumped with the Angels, and since the swap, Grilli's thrown the ball well for the Angels.
Changes scenery, works a lot with veteran guys.
This is bounced to third. It gets over the head of Alvarez. Stubbs is going to second as the throw-in was late, trying to get LeMahieu at third. It's 3-0. Drew Stubbs with a Baltimore chop single.
Well, that average will climb a little higher than 429 now. It's 4th in the National League. Not sure defensively with 2 strikes why they would have had Alvarez playing on the grass at third base. Glad they did. This ball hopped over the top of his head, playing even with the bag with 2 strikes. Not able to field this baseball. Playing shortstop depth up the middle. They'll have to bring everybody in now with nobody out. And a runner at second, third.
They give Stubbs a double, so that's 3 doubles, George, in the inning. And here's Blackman at the top of the order. Brett Anderson now sitting back and enjoying all this. Now the Rockies are going to end up with the bases loaded and nobody out. Clint is looking for a double play. He's going to have to bring his corners in, everybody in, trying to not fall behind by any more than the 3 he's already down.
Already with a big 2-out RBI base hit. The Rockies are 4 for 8 in this ball game. They were 5 for 14 in Wednesday's ball game with runners in scoring position. So a shot here again for Rutledge with that 2-out base hit was huge to put the Rockies up 1-0. Could really put this game away now with a big base hit. Yeah, I got in on him very quickly on the fastball. He let the elbow drop. First at bat this year with the bases loaded for Josh Rutledge. The ball club has hit .292.
Blackman gets back. It's 2-0 on Rutledge at the plate. Dickerson due next. Russell Martin. Mayhew at third, Stubbs at second, Blackman at first. All kinds of speed on base for the Rockies. And this ball's drilled to center field. McCutcheon's not going to get there. This could clear him. Blackman, the trail runner, gets a green light from Stu Cole. They'll never get it. Bases clearing, double Josh Rutledge. And the Rockies have a 6-run lead.
Well, have a night, Rutt. Maybe 16 RBIs, a 4 RBI night for Rutt. All Clint could do is set the table and hope that could be fixed, and Rutt changed everything. Tried to go with the high heater. That time Rutledge really opened that front side up, turned on the fastball that was up in the zone about bell tie on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo, and drove it into left center. It looked like a drive. That ball started to hook away from McCutcheon about mid-flight, and that allowed these bases to be empty, which had a lot of speed, probably the most speed of anybody with the Rockies, with Charlie at first.
Still nobody out. Dickerson at the plate. He had a part of Watt's swing. It's 0-1.
And nice part about Rutledge, 4 RBIs ties a career high for him. The last time he did it was September 16th, 2012 versus San Diego.
But when you have an injury, and you're never obviously going to replace a Troy Tulowitzki, but it's good to see Rutledge stepping up and having a big impact in the absence of Troy with that hip flexor injury. And it's also to see him, George, get his confidence back at the plate. He had it when he first came back. Probably took a hit, to be honest, a little bit last year.
It did take a hit last year. There's no question. He's got the swagger right now. You have
Dickerson with a 1-2 count. Just listen. Big crowd cheering him on. Friday night crowd here at Coors Field. Juan Pierre's the answer to another question, George. The highest average ever by a Rockies second-year player is Juan Pierre with a 327 average back in 2001. The reason we bring this up is Dickerson right now is hitting 332, and his first year, wasn't a full year, was last year. He's not considered a rookie. He had too many at-bats last year. Corey tonight 0 for 3, ground ball left side, a couple of fly balls. And this ball in the air to right, and it's caught by Polanco. Got to get back, and Rutledge does. So with one out, Cargo will come up. He's 0 for 3, a strikeout, a pop out, and a fly ball to deep center. Nationals who just left here, George, on Wednesday, went to Cincinnati. They beat the Reds 4-1. The Reds taking on water. They've lost 7 in a row.
Clint thinking about appealing to play there. He got the look. Clint's got a little gimp in his lip right now at the bad back.
Bad hip.
Yeah, see him walking out right now. I thought maybe the throw beat him here.
Clint's in the market for a new hip. In fact, he's been in so much discomfort. Let's look at this again. And Clint's been in so much discomfort. He does not sit. It's too painful for him, so he leans. He has a chair behind his desk that allows him to lean as opposed to fully sit. Outside on Carlos Gonzalez, ball 1. 5 runs here in the 7th inning for the Rockies to break things open. Tremendous pitchers duel between Brett Anderson and Charlie Morton. Chased Morton with 3 straight hits, 2 doubles and a single. That's Paulson, Rosario, and LeMahieu. And now they've gotten after Ernesto Frieri. 4 runs charged, by the way, to Morton. His book's closed in 6+ innings. It's the most runs he's ever given up against the Rockies. 1-1. And this ball's hooked to deep right field, way back, and gone. 2-run home run, Cargo. And Ernesto Frieri'd like to find a flight to get on out of town. 8-0 Colorado, 10th Jack of the year for Cargo.
He knew it. Trying to pull it back in. Saying 81-mile-an-hour changeup up and away from Cargo with that long full swing and bat speed. He took it out of the ballpark.
How about a 7-run 7th?
Well, it's been a while, Drew, before you could say this. Did you get tacos?
Everybody gets tacos. Make sure you go to Taco Bell tomorrow in the state between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. See Cargo trotting around the bases. Last time the Rockies had 7 or more in a game was July the 5th against the Dodgers. Frieri strikes out Charlie Culberson. 2 outs. And now the man who started the whole rally, Ben Paulson, will come up for the 2nd time in the 7th inning.
Yeah, the leadoff double against Morton down the right field line. .538 average now after a 2-for-2 night in Milwaukee.
Rockies have out-hit the Pirates tonight 10-2. This Pirate team has been playing very well. They've won 5 of 6. Just took 2 of 3 from the Dodgers at home. They came in 7 games above 500, which was a season best. Go back to early June, nobody's played better baseball in the National League than the Pirates. The Rockies beating them up tonight. Glenn, who had so many memorable moments as the skipper of the Rockies, the culmination, of course, that run in '07 to the World Series. Now a win shy of his 300th victory in a Pirate uniform. How about that?
Happened very quickly, too.
He was the right man for that job. The enthusiasm and energy and positiveness that he brings to a franchise that had been devoid of anything good for 20 years. Paulson called out. Well, what an inning for the Rockies. 7 runs for the Rockies. The 7th. Rutledge, a bases clearing double, and then Cargo hooked one into the seats and right. It's 8-0 Colorado. Nothing. They blew it open in the 7th with 7 runs on 6 hits. Tonight's clutch play of the game brought to you by Mako. There for you in the clutch. The body shop that can turn the car you drive back into the car you love. Visit Mako.com to find a center near you. Tommy Kahnle had to come in with a man on and 1 out last inning when Brett Anderson could no longer go with the blister on his finger, and Kahnle got a fly ball to left and a strikeout of Alvarez. Clutch play brought to you by Mako. Rex Brothers is in now, and his first pitch is in there for a strike on Michael Martinez. Martinez pinch hitting in the pitcher spot. It's 9-1-2. And that's on the outside corner, according to Chris Caccione.
Now look at Rex Brothers' numbers. Obviously this last week not his favorite time of the week. Right now you head 0-2 count, buried the slider in the dirt.
Strikeout of Martinez. Rosario hustles to get an angle to first. One out. Let's check in with Mark Stout. Mark, what's happening?
Well, guys, I have left the rooftop down here by the field, and we're going to wrap up Fan Friday with a photo that that screams baseball. This is Josh. Take a look at Josh. He's down the third base line. He's got his Rawlings glove. He got a foul ball and the rainbow behind him. Yes, that is Fan Friday for you. We wrap it up here. What a night for Josh, huh?
That's neat.
That's an awesome picture. Yeah. That should be framed, put up in the house somewhere. Gregory Polanco with one out, 0 for 3 tonight. Brett Anderson in line for his first victory of the year. Brett went 6 1/3. No runs on 2 hits. He walked 4, 1 intentionally, struck out 1. Boy, the whole key for Rex, for most pitchers, George, tonight, he's pounding the strike zone.
Well, coming out of the bullpen particularly, I mean, you saw that in the previous inning, the bad strikes would happen with Ferreira. So now you've got Rex in, and he's pounding the zone pretty good. That changing the plane with the breaking ball, the good fastball was at 92 that time.
I'm trying to think the last time Walt could sit back and enjoy a lead like this late.
Well, and I'm not sure he's enjoying it yet. The way the season has gone,
sure.
You're thinking in the back of your mind, let's get through this 8th. Man, let me get the W on a shutout at Coors Field. How great is that going to be for this club?
1-2.
Yeah, it's off the end of the bat a little bit. Big swing though.
Pretty sure with the it's a easy play out in center field. 2 outs. That'll bring up Josh Harrison. Auto glass issues, trust Safelite. Online at safelite.com. On the phone 303-287-5000. Harrison tonight is 0 for 3. Managers talk about washing things off, moving on to the next one after a tough loss. They say it, they believe it, they try to live it, but it's a long ride home.
Yeah, good luck
when you lose a ball game in any match.
It's not just
Walt knows it.
It's not just managers. I mean, I've said this for years, and until you experience it as a player, a guy goes 0 for 4 in a game is covered up by 7, 8 other guys swinging the bat. Okay, I mean that his 0 for 4 is covered up unless you're one of the superstars, and then it becomes a 0 for 24. Then you might start hearing about it. When you're working out of that bullpen and you fail to do your job on the field, reading the newspaper, hearing the talk radios, and doing all that stuff is nothing like trying to walk in there and face your other 24 teammates, knowing that you blew that game. And when they had a chance to win it. That's a lot harder to do that than anything else coming out of that bullpen.
That's one of the things that is part of who Rex Brothers is. I mean, on the down days, he's faced the music just like he has on the days that he's thrown up zeros. He's that way to begin with, but he learned it from guys like Matt Belisle, Rafael Betancourt, now from the LaTroy Hawkins. Walt's going to make a move here. 2 outs, 1 on. Andrew McCutchen coming up, and Nick Massett will take over. We'll step aside. Rockies leading 8-0 in the 8th. Fans, be sure to tune in Sunday as Rockies Weekly heads to Cheyenne Frontier Days. We'll take some of the sights and sounds, chat up one of today's hottest country bands as well. Plus, tag along with Corey Sullivan as he takes flight with the United States Air Force Thunderbirds. A Western Rockies Weekly Sunday after the ballgame. McCutchen a single in the 6th, also a strikeout and a ground ball to short. Nick Massett making his 30th appearance for the Rockies.
.474 earned run average over the little knee issue that he had. You know, when they're able to get him earlier, I was thinking, if healthy, he could be a really good acquisition for this bullpen. After all the different injuries he had gone through the last couple of years, because when he was healthy, it was pretty good. It was really good.
Huh. Boy, that's a yellow hammer.
Yeah, where was that at? Did McCutchen talk him out of it?
I don't know. McCutchen was ducking though.
Yeah, McCutchen may have talked him out of it with a big curl back.
Good fastball on the outside corner. It's 1-2 on Andrew McCutchen. Dodgers a 1-0 lead in San Francisco in the 3rd inning on the Giants. Greinke and Lincecum. Got him on a fastball away at 94. Good pitching from Nick Massett. And the Pirates are done in the 8th inning. The Rockies, speaking of 8s, have an 8-0 lead. 2-0. They've out-hit the Pirates 10-3. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning with George Frazier, Mark Stout. I'm Drew Goodman. Chris Stewart is taking over behind the plate for Russell Martin. And on the hill is Stormy Pimentel.
14th appearance for Stormy, 2-1 overall record. He doesn't have a hold yet. 444 in run average. 24 in the 3rd inning. So he'll try to just get through this 8th inning. And their ball club try to get through the 9th. Come back tomorrow and see what they can do in that ball game. They get to the ballpark early Saturday, July 26th, as the first 15,000 fans through the gates will receive a Troy Tulowitzki collectible jersey courtesy of King Super. So that's always a big day at the park when they give away the jersey of any player, and especially tomorrow, Troy Tulowitzki. Make sure you're here for that. First 15,000 will receive one. 303 Rockies to get tickets for that ball game, or Rockies.com/promotions.
So Charlie Morton gave up 4 runs and 6+ on 7 hits. Frieri came in. He gave up 4 runs in an inning, 3 hits, an intentional walk, couple of strikeouts. And Pimentel in the strike zone on Willeen Rosario, who's 2 for 3 tonight, a single and a double. Willeen had an RBI in that 7-run 7th inning. His first in the 2nd half. Big swing there. Looking at some of the things around baseball tonight. How about Jose Abreu, George's 30th home run?
Crazy.
Slipped up to the billing, coming over from Cuba. Rosario, a strikeout victim.
Well, the first 15 through the gate to 15, you get that? That's like 15,000. When you just say the first 15, it's like 1,000. So just make sure you always add that when you hear me say it. The first 15.
Yeah, I would think that.
You didn't listen to me. I said when you hear me say the first 15, you're supposed to say 1,000.
Yeah, 50. Go ahead.
First 15,000 through the gates on Tuesday, August 5th, are going to receive the rally cap courtesy of Jeep. Get your tickets for that ball game versus the Chicago Cubs today. That's rally cap from the Jeep, because you have the rally girls get a rally cap
Against the Cubs today, August 5th.
Right. Exactly. You did well.
You going with me to Chicago?
Yes, sir. I am. Sunday night. Go to Chicago. Go to Paisanos on State Street.
Are we going to go Sunday night?
I am.
Let's go.
You got it. Right down the street from the hotel.
You buying?
Yes. One of my favorite restaurants. When I played in Chicago.
And as a broadcaster, we've eaten a few meals there, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
Polanco makes the catch. 2 outs. That'll bring up Brandon Barnes. Barnes will pinch hit for Massett.
Matt Belisle warming up in the Rockies bullpen right now after Massett with that strikeout to end the 8th.
Ball's driven pretty deep left field, but cruising back, making the catch to Josh Harrison. We'll go to the 9th inning. Rockies looking for 3 more outs for a shutout of the Pirates. They're up 8-0. by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By Dodge, visit dodge.com or your local Dodge dealer today. By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Jeep, visit jeep.com to learn more. Rockies up 8-0 immediately following the Toyota postgame show, headed up by our Jenny Kapner. Jenny?
Hey, Drew, safe to say we might see Brett Anderson in the winner's circle after tonight's game. It would be his first win as a Rocky. Very exciting to talk about that. Plus, sock it to me. How about these high socks the Rockies have been wearing? It's done some good the last 2 games, including Josh Rutledge's big night. And we'll hear from the skipper as to why Nolan Arenado was taken out after the 4th inning. All that coming up right after a Rockies victory. I'm confident. I'm going to say it. What do you guys think?
I'm in with you. I'm
very confident.
All right.
In the books.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's been a big night for Josh Rutledge, matching his career best with 4 RBIs tonight. Rutledge throwing it around the infield as the Rockies will begin this 9th inning. Matt Belisle's on the hill. Gabby Sanchez, Neil Walker, and Chris Stewart.
Well, for Matt Belisle, I mean,
actually, let me correct that. Stewart's not hitting in that spot in the lineup, George. So
yeah, you're right. Anyway, Matt Belisle, and he admitted talking about it. It got flat, it got up, some aggressiveness and result in this. You're going to have some bad streaks over 41 innings. The other day it was a lot better. More zip on the fastball, better location, hit drive down on the ball. Like I said, he and Rex both these guys. There's nobody that feels worse when you fail, particularly to hold leads for your ball club.
Ball and a strike. Sanchez, ground ball toward the middle of the diamond, and that's going to sneak through a base hit.
Reached out for the slider, but his strength gets the ball just out of the reach of Josh Rutledge off the end of his glove.
Neil Walker. Ike Davis is in the on-deck circle. It was not a double switch when Stewart came in. Actually, it was a double switch. They could have had Stewart hitting in this spot. Anyhow, Clint has him down in the 9 spot, so Davis will pinch hit.
What? Given the outside corner. Not sure that a lot of those pitches have missed, but they are off the plate on the 4th strike zone. Last at 91 with some sink to it.
So it's 3-0 on Walker. 1 for 3 tonight.
A little below the strike zone gets the call from Shoney. So now, you know, and again, this, when you're on a run as a reliever this bad, it only takes 2 or 3 to have a good to get back and have confidence as a player. Missed with that down. It'll be a ball. You know, have runners at 1st and 2nd.
And that's been so unlike Matt in his career. He doesn't walk many guys, especially he wants to come in and throw a bunch of strikes up 8-0.
And I think too, he's made a few adjustments in the delivery, so you're working on a downward plane. Now it gets too far down in the zone. It's very uncharacteristic of Matt to walk people, but Ike Davis now will get to swing the bat against Matt. He's 3 for 16 as a pinch hitter this year.
outside 1-1. Davis on Tuesday against the Dodgers had 3 hits, including a home run. Snapped out of a 3 for 28 slump.
Good hard sinker there. RBI Baseball is back with all 30 Major League teams and 2014 players. Get the retro 2-button style baseball cap you've been missing. Visit the RBIGame.com for more details and download today.
Texas beat Oakland tonight, George, 4-1. The Rangers, like the Rockies, lead baseball in injuries, used their 31st pitcher tonight, which is a team record. This is sliced through the left side for a base hit. And now the bases are loaded, nobody out.
Well, when you're going bad, things like this happen. Off the glove of Rutledge, you walk a guy, and then Ike Davis slices one to left field. What you're hoping to do is get a strikeout here. Yeah, and it's hard. I'll tell you, folks, you're at home, been there and done this, went through a really bad stretch in '85 with the Chicago Cubs, and you hear the booing. Don't think that you don't. And don't think that you're struggling trying to find your way through this thing. And Matt Belisle has been good before. There's 38,000 people here tonight that want to see this game in. 38,487 to be exact.
Jordy Mercer will come up.
Adam Ottavino started throwing down in the Rockies bullpen.
This is hit to deep center field. Walker makes the catch, tagging and scoring is Sanchez. Moving from second and third is Walker, and the shutout's gone. It's 8-1.
33rd RBI for Jody Mercer. Since 2010, the most games appeared in, starting at 5, Juan Lopez 327, Ziegler 337, Gregerson 339, Clippard 341, and leading the way since 2010, Matt Belisle at 347 appearances.
Pedro Alvarez takes ball 1.
Now flip the double play and get out of this thing. Put a ball on the ground to somebody. You missed again, 2-0. And if Ottavino gets loose and Belisle not able to get a hold of it here, he's in. Probably going to see Ottavino try to come in and clean this game up.
Not trying to gather himself. This is really unusual.
Yeah, I got something going on.
What I mean by unusual is Matt works very quickly typically.
You know, and for me, defensively right now, it's an 8-1 ball game. Left-handed hitter up, and I get that. I'd like to see Davis get held on a little bit, only for a chance to, you know, keep a runner close and keep things held up a little bit. We have a chance for the double play. You get too deep, now you let them just walk to second, and that makes it a little more difficult. Defensively in the ninth, you want to try to keep your defense set still, because what you're going to do, you don't want anybody moving around. Hold your defense as much as you can.
There's a little etiquette thing going on also in that Davis at first isn't taking second. It's being given to him. That's another pitch that misses. And now the bases are loaded. Again,
it's Giacchone shaking his head at Matt Belisle. That's the first time I've seen Belisle. So I know there's some frustration there, because Matt just looked at him like, what the heck, you know?
Now the pitcher, you can see on the 4th strike zone, the pitchers are off the plate.
They are, and it's, you know, and for Matty to struggle like this, Walt doesn't want to see this. This guy's been a great guy for this franchise for a long time, and Walt's just he's going to have to make the move here. And it's an awfully hard on that young man right there walking off the mound right now. I can tell you that. A lot of pride to put on a major league uniform and do his job.
Leading the Pirates. There's one out in the 9th inning. The bases are loaded, and Adam Ottavino takes over for Matt Belisle.
Ottavino on the season, 50 games for him to appear in after tonight. 403 earned run average. He's given up 5 home runs in just 49 and a third inning. 48 strikeouts, 44 and 2/3 innings. 48 strikeouts and 12 balls. As a reliever now, one of your buddies has struggled in Matt Belisle. That you come in for him with the bases loaded, you want to clean it up. You want to help him any way you can, numbers wise. Try to be there for him as much as you can.
Popped up right side. Infield fly rule has been called. 2 outs. Stewart retired, and that'll bring up Gregory Polanco. Rockies an out away from shaking hands. Polanco's 0 for 4 tonight. takes a fastball away, ball 1.
The good part about this would be the first win for Brett Anderson in a Rockies uniform, his first in a while, since April the 7th, 2013, as soon as the Rockies can get this third out in an 8-1 ball game.
That's in there.
You missed the target really bad like that. You can see now, watch when Lean expecting everything outside. And the only thing to stop this was the umpire's shin guard. They're called a strike.
1-2 on Polanco. On the ground to third. Culberson will go the short way just in time. Ball game over. And the Rockies defeat the Pirates 8-1 on a Friday night in front of more than 38,000 at Coors Field. And as you mentioned it, Brett Anderson gets his first victory in a Rockies uniform. Cargo hit a 2-run home run. Josh Rutledge drove in 4. Rockies broke it open with a 7-run 7th inning. Our Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the game, the work of Josh Rutledge tonight. Rutledge with a double to drive in the first run in the third, and then a double to clear the bases in the 7th. Again, he matches his career best with 4 ribbies tonight. Rockies have won their last 2 outings. They win it tonight over the Pirates 8-1. And it was Anderson over Morton. Morton drops to 5-10 on the season. Let's get center field. Jenny Cavanaugh. Jenny.
Hey, Drew, how about back-to-back wins for the Rockies? Must have something to do with the high socks. Spilly's showing them off, and we'll show off how the Rockies won this game. It's all coming up on the Toyota post-game show. You got high socks, too? Maybe we'll show you who he socks. I don't know. Stay tuned.